in order for a team to win, somebody has to show up.
See, I don't know. I don't see Mikey who it is, but somebody's got to do something in this play.
One of these teams has to show up, or it's going to be a really bad match. Like, it's going to be awful if neither team shows up. I'm going to want to cry. I'll be really unhappy if neither team shows up. You got to show up.
I still think of those funny as heck when Cookies had that point. Was Mikey's brother playing on his account?
I mean, it was a fair question. Again, we don't want to hammer dig on Mikey too much, but if he doesn't show up this game, it's going to raise a lot of warning signs for LiViD. If LiViD don't show up this game, it's going to raise a lot of warning signs for this team because, as Connor said, they've started out 2 stages now down 0-3. We're on that 3rd match, so this is the time, if any, to buck the trend. Of course, in terms of the bans, no bucking of the trend so far. We have a Mav and a Thatcher ban. Ooh, but a Mira ban followed up. It's a little bit risky because while it does force Fernies to ban the Cade, if they don't, you're just kind of screwed. And they did. They did not ban the Cade, so it's going to be difficult when Fernies transition to the attack, but LiViD tried to call Fernies bluff, and they just did not ban the Cade. So now that's your Mav ban that you wanted to go for, it's going to be a little bit... It's going to hurt a lot more.
I don't think you're not getting Moto Hatch open.
There are just parts of the map you are not opening up.
Well, actually, you can
and you're going to have to deal with that.
You can sledge the floor and throw a grenade in there, actually. But since Jaeger's banned, I guess that would work as well, actually. So I said maybe you actually can get Moto Hatch open, actually. But yeah, I do agree. It'll be difficult.
You can get Moto Hatch open, but it does require about like half of your limbs in payment in order to get there. Talk about about Alchemist, like law of equivalent of exchange. Like this would require an entire person to get that hatch open.
Bring for a fuse.
There you go. Easy clap.
Easy clap. Just bring fuse. Come on, easy.
True. Bring the fuse. Come on. Actually, let's start a petition here. Bring more fuse. Not because I want to see fuse, but because we got we bring 7 operators in the game. Like let's vary things up a little bit. Also, by the way,
I thought you were saying you should extend the team to 7 people.
No. I just meant bring more stuff. Make it interesting. I don't care if it hurts you. Vary it up. I want to see it. Anyway, by the way, we have a name change. Mikey Too Silly. Now in the lobby.
He's been silly lately, so I guess this is the way of combating it.
I'm not gonna make that joke. That's mean.
I don't know what you're gonna say. I don't think I want to hear it anymore.
It's not inappropriate. Like it's broadcast friendly. It's just mean.
Oh, it's just okay. That's different then. I thought it was inappropriate. All right, we're back upstairs.
I'm very broadcast friendly, Benny. That's
true. Yeah, you keep PG. You keep PG.
I'm not that guy. But anyways, as you said, we have a gym bedroom defense to start things out for Ferny's Tacos. Got a Rooney, got a castle barricade. A lot of utility that LiViD have to cut through. And of course, Rainbow is on that Cade.
And the question is going to be, how are they going to deal with that Kaid? How are they going to deal with Electric Claws?
That is a bit difficult, isn't it? Thankfully, it's not Moto Hatch, so you do have a little bit more avenues to go for it. Say, you have an Electric Claw on the jacuzzi wall. Depending on where it's placed, you might be able to get it from the drone hole if you send a frag grenade in. For CC wall, of course, you can go from below. That one's a lot easier, but depends on where Rainbow has put those Electric Claws. We're not quite sure right now. But for LiViD, their focus of the attack is starting out on CCTV and jacuzzi side. One of those Electric Claws, the only one on the field currently, is on jacuzzi wall, and the other's in Rainbow's pocket. So, for LiViD, starting out on CCTV, not nearly as much resistance, utility-wise, that they might have otherwise had to face.
I wonder what he's going to do with the last electric claw. Looks like Karn stared at that jacuzzi wall for a second, saw the electrified wall, and went, well, I'll walk away for a second, because I'm going to need help to get this wall open. So he walks away for a moment, so that jacuzzi wall isn't quite the point of focus for LiViD. They've opened up those walls, they're pushing straight into cash. And now it looks like they're going to use the hard breaching to open up cash and deal these players. Mikey takes some shots, pre-firing into the construction door. Nobody takes fire from the side of Ferny's Tacos, but Mikey will take the damage anyway. So otherwise, they're going to have to push into these players in red and construction and deal with this. And the question is, are they going to put more of that utility, that hard breaching to work on cash, or are they going to try and save it for later on?
Well, right now, with how much of a focus they are placing on cash and how long it's taking them to work themselves not only through this part of the map, but then work themselves to the other side, it looks like a lot of utility, hard breaching or otherwise, is going to be expended here. Mikey will try to push on in, but Nat somehow manages to stay alive. It's actually Carnage to get that kill. So, Mikey did a good job of baiting himself, allowed Carnage to swing on in. They get the trade. Good crossfire work by LiViD. They've taken out cash. Only problem is, it's 2 minutes into the round, we're a minute left, and they don't have much beyond that. Jacuzzi wall is still electrified. Nobody's in a position to open that up. They have this eastern side of the map. It can start pushing into logistics. pressuring the bedroom doorway as well. But an entire side of the map is completely closed. Connor talked about how difficult it was for Ferny's Tacos to open Jacuzzi. LiViD might have taken a page out of the wrong part of Ferny's Tacos playbook.
Yeah, this allows people like Poise to sit in gym with no issue. People to play inside the hallway by bathroom, so they can play so differently. Poise playing there, he's getting pressured by two members, getting shot by Whitlock, finished off there, and so they have control of gym, but can they get the plant down? Rainbow gets a kill on Whitlock, denies the gym pressure. Rainbow gets two, but he gets refragged by Karn. But still, the diffuser's inside the gym. You gotta jump in with low manpower. Well, actually, no, they're in the man advantage, actually, so they get this plant down. The question is, Titans and Flipper in a position to stop this from happening. Flipper's gotta get a kill. He actually denied Xeno with a trade with that smoke canister. Now it's on a Titan with the plant down. A 2v1, one side of gym. He sees the legs, gets that pre-fire with the ump. Great job from Titans. But Mikey is the man to try and clutch this round out, or to end the round, as he's a 1v1. Diffuser on the floor, planted. Titan's got to figure out, where is Mikey? What am I doing here? Do I have intel to figure out what's going on? He thinks he's on the balcony, which he's right. Yeah, Mikey's on the balcony. Drone here pings out Titans. Mikey should have the win, but he jumps back in, down to 1 HP. He's going to go for the disable instead, but this should be an easy pre-fire from Mikey to finish him off, though. He looks like he's trying to bait the information. He jumps on the metal, makes sure Titan jumps off, just baiting him off that diffuser over and over again. Great job from Mikey. Finishes off with a pistol, and LiViD will take round one.
They do manage to make that work. As we saw towards the tail end of that round, sure, LiViD did not open Jacuzzi. Bad LiViD. How could you do that? Well,
Bad LiViD. You say bad LiViD, but
they technically didn't need to. They had, because Jim was castle barricaded and a Rooney. That is, of course, meant to counter anybody pushing, or it is meant to counter, of course, denial, or trying to get the denial of the Jacuzzi wall, and also just make it more difficult for the attackers to reconcile with the two positions, Jacuzzi wall and Jim. LiViD made a risky play. They were not able, because of the Thatcher and Mav ban and the Caden play, getting open Jacuzzi wall was always going to be difficult. So they made a calculated risk, but it is a risk. Keep that in mind. They staked that entire play off of flashing the guy inside a gym and getting that frag. Thankfully, they managed to do it, and combined with the pressure that they had early on, mainly construction and metal balk, were able to stop players from retaking gym. Really good job by LiViD of using that castle barricade against Ferny's Tacos. It was risky, but they managed to make the most out of a bad situation, despite how close it came. Because good job Ferny's Tacos as well, because it came down really close, and there were a lot of winnable moments in that round for the defense.
I wasn't close to that. It was a 2v1. If they didn't lose, maybe not early on, they maybe had to even up on that end of the game, but it's just how it happens sometimes. Unfortunate for them. We go on to their Church and Arsenal defense of Ferny's Tacos, and of course, you see from the lineup, it's going to be a Rome, the Vigil, the Mozzie, the Mute, as per usual. Going to try and stay upstairs, waste time, waste utility, as we saw from last game. And we'll see, well, what is Ferny's Tacos going to try and take fights to stay alive, or are they just going to, back off, run back to site whenever we see LiViD waste their time and waste their utility on that clear? And nobody's actually, so far, nobody's tried to just rush site either on this kind of Rome clear either.
I feel like normally we get at least one rush per Playday of Challenger League, and we haven't gotten one fully today. I'd like to see one, because they are exciting, as you said. But of course, considering the fact that LiViD are currently, vertically speaking, on the opposite side of the map from the site, we won't be seeing any sort of quick play today, but we will likely be seeing some action momentarily. There are 3 members of Ferny's Tacos all on this second floor. One rotating over to Cash right now, one in Logistics, and one more inside of Master Bedroom. Of course, Mikey right now, just chilling, letting the drone do the work right now, but as a second one goes in from Carnage, I imagine we might see Mikey play that a little bit more closely. Just the problem here, LiViD are taking a little bit of time. They haven't fully entried yet, and if there's nobody on on the side of CCTV to catch anybody on these rotations, Ferny's Tacos can just rotate back at no cost to their own manpower.
I guess they didn't really lose any utility, because the only thing they'd use was the ash charges, which isn't crazy, but they just use those to open up the bathroom wall, the CCTV wall. But it looks like, Karn will see them taking the Vigil, taking their Vigil cloak off, so the seam inside of the garage. But Titan with the first pick onto Xeno, as maybe Xeno was I think Xeno was by themselves, pushing maybe Secret or Blue on their own, and get picked off on one of the rotates, because I think he was trying to rotate or cut off the rotates from the defenders. Unfortunately, he was the man getting cut off instead. So at this point now, LiViD are going to go to work. They've cleared, technically, they've cleared out some of that floor. They've cleared out not the full top floor, but they've at least pushed those stun defenders back. Indy will take a Rainbow inside construction. So at this point, they've kind of dealt with the roamers in a sense. But the question is, with a minute left and utility in hand, which they still have quite a bit of utility left, can they push this into an execute? I think they still can. They still have a possibility here for them.
I think they still can as well. It's just a little bit difficult. So much time was wasted up top that LiViD now have to start picking up the pace, artificially speaking, and trying to get all these steps done, which they have the utility to do it. So it's not in terms of can they, it's in terms of will they do it successfully in terms of the time they have remaining. And he will use one of his exothermics on this kitchen hatch, but look at the time right now. 35 seconds left, and an impact trick below the hatch as well. This is exactly the problem if so much time is wasted early on. It's difficult to deal with this impact tricking, but of course, thanks to Whitlock on the sledge, they managed to push them off. That second exothermic is what they needed. The hatch is open, but they have to stake this all on a drop. Two members drop on down. A pre-placed smoke canister begins squeezing the life out of Indy, so he has to rotate off the plant. Nat on the long angle by Gunrack gets one. Could he get the second as well? No, Whitlock's there for the coverage. Indy gets the bomb down successfully, but with two well-placed toxic canisters, he's cut off from his support of Whitlock. Indy taking down the sledge on Overwatch is the only one left. Ferny's Tacos have to decide, do we retake up top or make the play downstairs? They're going for the former. With Whitlock on the drone, he hasn't spotted anyone directly, but he's rotated outside. He can account for both potential play styles. Titan and Flipper rotating into kitchen. Whitlock anticipating maybe a run out from stock or somewhere else, but he's playing this so well. Flipper rotates back down. In fact, they both rotate back down. They have to make some kind of play. Whitlock slowly creeps on in. They have the holes above the diffuser to take this down. Just 2 seconds left. He spots Titans. He's won the round. That's all you needed to do. You can sit and let Flipper kill you, pad his stats. Whitlock won't let him do that. In fact, he will. I take that back. But it's still 2 rounds in a row from LiViD. Excellent post plan by Whitlock.
Oh, that was a scary round. It was still a trade here and there. They got one pick. Xeno getting cut off, trying to hold an angle off the side of the map, gets picked off. And then you had, Indy get a pick of his own, able to even it up into a 4v4 execute with only a minute left. They were running out of time, but they made do with what they had. They opened up the kitchen hatch. They're able to push the defenders back farther into Arsenal and drop into Arsenal, try and make that play happen. You saw Nat get aggressive, try and take control, try to take back, Arsenal, but Whitlock was on the hatch ready for that. There's a C4 thrown at default, but Indy, because of the smoke canisters, had pushed off of default onto the racks instead, and there wasn't, I guess, the intel or the communication wasn't quite there for Ferny's Tacos to throw that C4 elsewhere because they'd already smoked that position. So unfortunately, they get the plant down, allowing for Ferny's Tacos. Well, Ferny's Tacos at least were able to retake, but the fourth thing is that it was a 2v1 post plant. Whitlock had the top floor coverage, and he waited outside, and both members of LiViD went for, not for LiViD, from Ferny's Tacos went for the retake, but unfortunately, they both then couldn't find Whitlock, so they both dropped back down to the site, allowing for Whitlock just stay on kitchen.
They were like, we'll get him in kitchen. They didn't see him. They're like, crap. Just drop back down. They just didn't try. I mean, they were low on time. I get panicking and not exploring any further. They didn't have any intel for Ferny's. If they went outside and they then either lost the fight or didn't find him, they've wasted more time. It was like 15 seconds left total, which is effectively like 8 seconds left. You got to make a split-second decision. In that case, fortunately, allowed Whitlock to continue playing that. This go-around, LiViD now won 2 attacking rounds in a row. Excellent work for them. They've won Gym, they've won Basement, and Ferny's Tacos are not really willing to try a site more than once. They'll go to their third of CCTV. Not too crazy defense so far, by the way, or not too crazy of a defensive setup. We got the Rooney mute device on that CCTV wall. I am surprised we're not seeing a Cade, because if you were to play Rafters and where somebody's got to be playing Rafters on a CCTV defense, if you put 2 Cade charges on the garage walls, the attack literally can't get them. So the garage player's a lot more safe, but, well, Flipper still managed to find one of the hard breachers on LiViD, so nothing too bad so far, and never mind, they're just sending it on in. Unfortunately for them, they just didn't have any intel on the player playing top red. Wainbro holding red stairs firmly. Titans also tagging on for 1. So far, it's heavily favoring Ferny's Tacos, despite LiViD starting to make strides. Man advantage for the defense, still steadfast. Xeno's taking garage control. That's cool, but diffusers dropped inside the site. There's 1 player down below with the C4 and 2 players still remaining on the site itself. This is still going to be difficult for LiViD to bring back, despite the fact it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, LiViD could make this happen. If they could deny that C4 player below and try and go for that plant while being covered, they could happen. They still have a minute 30. There's time left to do this, but so far, it looks like they're waiting right now. It looks like there's a good intel. They know the player's below. It's the Malusi of Titans who's below with that C4. Actually, no, C4 is it pre-placed? Rainbow has a C4, but the
Believe it
player
is.
below doesn't have a C4 actually. So I wonder if it's pre-placed or what. Grenade comes out, I should push Titan maybe off, but no, the grenade's not quite far enough. Actually, decided to push us off into secret. But otherwise, Mikey's pushing in. This could be the big play they need to make. Oh my god, the ring around the Rosie, around the green box. Nobody knows what they are. Rainbow finishes Mikey off in that ring around the Rosie. It's up to Xeno in a 1v3. He has no intel. Rainbow will finish him off. Rainbow with what, a 3K that round?
Something like that. Either way, whatever it was, that was a bit of a half-baked rush by LiViD. I know you and I literally talked about 2 rounds ago, like, we want to see a rush. We want to see a rush. Just one today. Just get us our one and we'll stop complaining. Would have liked to see a little bit more of play from LiViD in that round, but they lost Karn early on. Not entirely sure what Karn was doing. I'm not saying that because he was clueless. I don't know what Karn was doing that round. I assume he might have been over either on CC window or trying to get the garage walls since there was no cage, but there might have been mute devices. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, Karn dies off screen. Not sure what happens. So LiViD, clearly a predetermined call. They're like, all right, we're sending it through plat wall. Indy takes a step through the hole. He's charging. He's got his slow-mo Zack Snyder moment. He's running. He's sending it. And then he dies because just like either they forgot somebody was red, nobody was there to watch him, they didn't smoke it. I don't know what that was, but they just, I guess, expected the red player to just be asleep. And unfortunately, he was awake and took down Indy. And at that point, LiViD made some sporadic plays, some quick plays, got some kills.
Titan just put that Banshee.
I have no idea. I'm still stuck on last round. And
so like, yeah, see the
seemed to be
blue
a lot of
dots?
pieces missing.
Yeah, he put it on top. I think he put it on top of the antler heads inside of church. So if you walk through Moto, there's a Banshee above you. Oh,
that's irritating.
Crazy. Yeah, see the lights. See the lights right there.
That's why. Like, that's just mean at that point. Like,
it's just in the air.
Does that go all the way to the door? Like,
I don't know what the radius is, but that's funny. So basically, if you're playing around the corner with a shotgun, you're gonna win that fight, I guess.
I guess. I've never seen that Banshee before.
Yeah, neither have I. But either way, we go back downstairs to the basement, which was the round that LiViD went off a great post plan from Whitlock in a 1v2. And really, the question is, the big thing there is the fact that even though they wasted a lot of time for, Ferny's tacos, they didn't really get a lot of kills. They got a trade pretty much in the end. And they didn't waste a lot of utility either because they didn't really reinforce anything. They didn't reinforce Jacuzzi, they didn't reinforce CCTV. So the only thing that really LiViD wasted was ash charges or a sledgehammer on opening up walls, pushing upstairs. So unfortunately, that roam game wasn't quite as efficient. It did waste time. That's really about it.
Also, one thing I think I actually didn't realize that not only is Valkyrie unbanned, Nap's currently playing her, so a lot of intel at the disposal of the defense to utilize. Of course, influence the potential play on the roam. Could have. Minutes gone now. Everyone has started to rotate back. Nobody's still really on the side, but look at that camera staring directly at Mikey. Know that the Ash is likely going to play Secret momentarily, or is playing Secret right now, and could start to get aggressive. Mikey might have an idea that there's a camera on him, currently trying to find it. You can almost see his thought process visualized on screen by him moving his head. Love moments like that. But thankfully, right now for LiViD, they're able to get a lot of this vertical control pretty much for free. They're able to open things up. Of course, the impact tricking was a problem last time. There are no impacts this go-around, so they don't have to worry about it. So a lot of the problems that LiViD faced aren't really that much of a factor this go-around, save for the electric claws, which are still annoying to deal with, and they probably are going to struggle with.
Yeah, let's see if they can deal with them, what they're going to do. It looks like it's be the same take as Titans will get C4 and Whitlock once again playing the kitchen. Looks like some of that vertical play won't be in fact, and Whitlock can't do a fun, post-plant situation like he did last time. So just like they're going to drop once again in the kitchen. Xeno with the kill on the flipper from main hall. That's a great shot. Mikey pushing up. He pushes, gets a pick on the Nat, who was playing maybe blue or playing inside of generator, and someone's going to take his place and take heavy damage. Mikey will get shot to 1 HP, and he's going to have to back off and rotate somewhere else. And the question now is, what is LiViD's method of play? Mikey's expecting some aggression and his poise. Ready and waiting as well as he gets that pick onto Mikey. Now we're down to a 3v3, and LiViD, what is the play? They're dropping right into Arsenal, getting that plant down. What is Ferny's Tacos play? Is there a C4 ready for it? C4 will happen actually right at the last second. There it is. Poised with the last 3 kills, or last 2 kills. A third to his name, got a 3K for the round, and it's Ferny's Tacos to take another defense.
That was the big question mark you had in Ferny's Tacos' first defense was, where was the C4? Where was it? It didn't happen when Indy was getting the bomb down, so Ferny's Tacos, where was it? Well, Benny, in that go-around, there it was. Rainbow is able to deny the plant with it. That's what ends up winning them the round. All the same factors that worked previously didn't work as much, but still worked, I would say, somewhat overall. Able to hold down those angles, some players still uncontested, still not removed, able to have some impact. That C4 able to send on over where the smoke canisters failed in round number 2. The C4 pulled through this go around in round number 4. For LiViD as well, it was again another kitchen drop that can work, but if you struggle on the coverage sometimes, if that player in Gen, even though Mikey got a kill earlier, he was traded out, that's still a major part of the map that that can be completely contested because you left it up to one guy trying to make a play. That kind of worked early on, didn't work towards the end. It's kind of the problem with kitchen drops. So the TLDR for that round worked kind of for LiViD, but the most important parts of that round were in Ferny's Tacos, and those were the ones that ended up sealing the deal.
Yeah, they made changes that round to adapt to a kitchen drop, and LiViD just did the same thing over again, unfortunately. So Ferny's Tacos are waiting, not waiting, but they're ready for it. They're ready to deal with that kind of drop once again, and there was no real coverage elsewhere. Mikey couldn't make a blue push happen. So at that point, the only play from LiViD was just jumping down kitchen hatch, unfortunately. Flipper was killed from main stairs by Xeno, so there was some other play happening, but I think LiViD needed more of that play rather than just jumping down kitchen hatch, unfortunately. So we go on to our next defense from Ferny's Tacos, off back to Gym and Bedroom. And last time it was kind of a LiViD made a crazy play. They jumped through Gym, even though they kind of didn't have much to they were able to get a pick here and there. They were able to deal with that extension, and then they kind of just pushed their way, used those castle barricades to their advantage, and made a play happen.
Start out, Xeno finds bit of a problem on red stairs, or on the top of red stairs right now. Also sees the feet of Nat, who's facing a little bit of a problem himself. Manages to get away, not scot-free, taking a hell of a lot of damage. On 1 HP currently stands. Benny, I'm hoping we don't see the exact same rush this go around, but if they do, they at least have some bit of intel on red stairs. They'll spot a player sitting there or behind that deployable shield, but nobody will charge on in. No Indy sending it through the breach. Nobody doing anything like that. Of course, the side is Gym Bedroom, but they are still taking this a little bit more thoroughly, not getting too ahead of themselves. They're trying to get this intel before they make a play.
Yeah, that's going to return to site. He's at 1 HP. He's like, I got to leave. I got to go away.
Well, red stairs is already a position where odds are you're going to die there. Getting away with 1 HP is still better than a lot of situations when you're playing in that spot. So, cutting his losses is definitely the play.
Yeah, I think last time too was, one person, I believe it was Titans or Poi. Oh, actually, no, it was Nat last time. We tried to stay here last time as the Rooney was unfortunately taken out. But no, Mikey walks in and Rainbow, unaware that LiViD had taken control of Cash. Mikey would take that kill with ease. And now at this point, they've taken control of Cash, they control construction. The question is, what is the next step for LiViD? They can't get that Jacuzzi wall open, or at least it's difficult to because of, having that Kaid. Thatcher's off the board. No having Maverick either, so they have to push towards Logi or try and work these angles on the balcony and try and get some picks that, propel them into an execute.
No pick on Flipper Manifest, unfortunately. Just a little bit of damage from Whitlock's frag grenade. Still has one to use if he wants to at any point. 50 seconds left. Has plenty of time to set himself up for one. The execute here, if you remember from LiViD last time, was they sent it in a Gym window, try to make and stake their claim there. And thankfully, so far, they could likely go for a similar play. They've taken down Nat, and Gym is castled off once again. And nobody right now from Ferny's Tacos in any angles to directly contest a vault in from Gym. They have players Metalbound to watch the bathroom, players Construction to watch entries from that spot. So Indy could just move on in and start to get the bomb on the floor. LiViD will knock down the castle barricade, and unfortunately, they're not watching Titans swing and kill Indy. They're just watching every other angle. So all the kills fall through. And even though Ferny's Tacos got the guy with the bomb, everyone on LiViD got everyone else on Ferny's.
And those window angles are strong. They saw Mikey jump into construction just because Nat was dead, so they knew they had the advantage pushing into that end of the round. So really, they just, watch the angles in the bedroom, push in through those windows, and just take control of site, because all of the members from Ferny's Tacos then push back. They're either in the bathroom, or they're in the back hall behind a castle barricade, or they're in Logi. So at that point, Ferny's Tacos, unfortunately, we're not in a position to really stop them from just jumping in the windows, take control of construction, take control of master bedroom, take control of Gym. And, Indy was the first point, because he was planning the fuse. They go for Indy first, but the other rest of LiViD have their guns trained on those angles, ready to take those fights. So good job from LiViD. They take another round here, and they're looking pretty good going into the last round of the half.
And here's the issue so far going for Ferny's Tacos. Of course, a 3-3 half on Clubhouse, not a big deal. We've you can come back from that half pretty easily on a map like Clubhouse as well. It's nothing really to be too scared of. But the thing with Ferny's Tacos and the match they played against Club previously against Nocturnes, the question was not their defenses. When they played Nocturnes, they won 4 out of their 4 out of their 6 defensive rounds. It was their attacks that were the big problem for Ferny's Tacos. They've of course had a couple weeks to fix that, but at the same time, LiViD have had a couple weeks to boost their own playstyle and prep for a map that could very well have been Clubhouse. So for Ferny's, it's really important that they get this next defensive round, because if they're still struggling and they haven't made those improvements, their attacking half could be a lot more difficult against LiViD, whose defenses have not been the problem. It's been their attacks. So if LiViD go up 4-2 and then switch to a side they were already comfortable on before the break, this is worrying for Ferny's Tacos going forward.
Definitely agree. And see, well, yeah, it's interesting because LiViD's been changing up their attacks like so far, and it's been their so far season-wise, it's been their weaker half. But looks like they're making changes in Clubhouse. They're adapting and making changes to deal with Ferny's Tacos' defense. So that's great to see. Well, this is CCTV and Cash. So this is the round where they tried the rush, and what Indy got slammed as soon as he walked in, and Karn, I believe, on the CCTV window was shot down early, so they lost some of the hard breaching. 2 grenades both get picked off by Disc. Zeno loses 2 grenades early in the round, so it's gonna be difficult to get rid of that mute jammer from at least the window. They might have to go below and use an ash charge from below to get rid of the mute jammer. But it looks like they open up anyway. I hear it open up in the background, so maybe they would just open, they were able to get elsewise or use another grenade from Whitlock, it looks like. So that's kind of a waste though. They used 3 grenades.
Did use a lot of grenades just to take out that one little piece of utility, but they did still take it out, so that's good. You managed to get it, but losing those grenades, as you said, Benny, those are powerful pieces of utility where if you've got somebody in a spot you can't get out till later on in the round. I mean, we saw in the previous IF game, IF almost made their entire entry work because Subarctic had a nade later on in the round, was able to bank it into Garage and take down Barring on this exact same map. Nades can be really useful for those late round positions. Whitlock does still have one, but it's still a lot wasted, and they'll likely have to use another nade to take out that construction wall. Since Maverick and Thatcher are banned, you're going to have to use some bit of utility to take it down. They have a lot of good positions, LiViD do. Mikey on that rappel and moving into construction, but with players still in Garage and players down below as well, and 2 C4s on the defense, there's still plenty in Ferny's Tacos' arsenal to stop this play.
Oh, it looks like they're trying to impact trick from stock, open up the top of that wall between stock and stage, and sending it through the hatch. Looks like they were maybe successful. I can't tell because I haven't seen what happened. But most of LiViD are stacked up in construction. So if they're not able to get the construction wall open, it's just going to be a rush from the side of LiViD pushing into sight in these last 40 seconds. And it looks like, well, there's no, I don't know if there's, there's 1 extra charge left. There's 12 X carrots that should be able to get this wall open in the dying seconds. Flipper goes down, swinging onto Mikey on the plat wall. Not sure what the choice was there. Maybe they just had to at that point to recontrol it. But hey, it goes with the wall.
And there goes Nat as well. 2 members fallen, all thanks to Mikey sitting on that plat rappel right now. Zeno has started to make his way in. Indy as well with the bomb going on the floor. Zeno watching in for Garage will spot 1 as Mikey gets his third. Not able to land that kill, but with the diffuser on the floor. And now Rainbow in a 1v5. LiViD end the half 4-2. A flawless round to end off their attacking half. And as I said earlier, this was a round that Ferny's Tacos needed to win if they haven't improved that much on their Clubhouse attacks. Of course, this is now where we can see. Have they made those improvements? Because they'll be going up against a LiViD who defensive wins have not always been their issue. In fact, in the longest game they played, their 8-6 loss to IF, they won the majority, if not damn near all of their defensive rounds, save for a couple exceptions. LiViD's defenses are not the issue going into this half. But Ferny's Tacos attacks on this map were the issue for them going into this. They're what we need to see, and they're going to be the team we need to watch to see if they've made those improvements and they can keep LiViD or keep it toe-to-toe with LiViD going into this half.
Well, Jim Benner was the first defense from LiViD, and we've seen so far how difficult it is to get that jacuzzi wall open. We'll see if Ferny's Tacos can be different here and get that jacuzzi wall open, or if they're going to make a similar play where they're going to, take control, they push that extension back, take control construction, push those players in our lodgy and our back halls, and then make a play through those windows on the balcony has been how LiViD's been doing it so far in their attacks. And the question is, Ferny's Tacos going to, maybe learn from that and do it the same way, or are they going to create something different here? Maybe open the jacuzzi wall somehow with a grenade or somehow through another angle? Hard to say as we go on, and the setup here looks like the extension once again from LiViD, just like we saw from Ferny's Tacos. LiViD is extending into cash into red stairs, and it's going to be the first step for Ferny's Tacos if they're going to go head first into this like we saw from LiViD.
currently. Hopefully, I mean, I hope they don't just go careening
It's a lot
head
of shields.
first. That'd be a bit difficult. Exactly. A lot of shields that you just be sending your head straight into. So probably not the best idea. And of course, we also have a Cade on the board. You know what, Benny? I'm actually thinking about this now. I'm surprised we did not see as much Cade as I thought we would in Ferny's Tacos. We saw, of course, a lot on basement, but for all the other sites, I don't think we saw. I think like
Well, we
once
saw it
gym
on
bedroom.
basement and gym. We didn't see it on CCTV.
Yeah, we didn't see it on CCTV at all. So I guess we actually did see in the majority of the rounds. Then I don't know. It just something about it. I thought it'd be a lot more oppressive of a presence, but we didn't see it. I say that because I glanced at Xeno and I saw that he was playing it. And of course, this go around here could be difficult for Ferny's Tacos to cut through, just as it was difficult for LiViD on their attacking half. Thankfully, they're starting over on that CCTV side, and the wall is soft, so they don't have to worry about it. But there's those Aruni gates, those reinforcements, and those deployable shields that they need to be careful in clearing, because if they just take gunfights with the players sitting in cash and sitting behind that shield, it's likely not going to go well for them.
Well, looks like they're pinging out. They're pinging what their steps are for LiViD. I mean, for Ferny's Tacos. You know what the start is. They're going to open and destroy these laser gates, send some things to destroy it. Looks like a grenade gets picked up, or a grenade. Second grenade comes out, but Indy has a C4 ready and waiting, pre-placed. Indy's getting pressure from two different angles, though, with Flipper coming from red stairs on the pinch to get rid of him. Pre-fires to that rotate, pushes back Mikey, who runs into Poise. Dead he goes. Those two players get kicked out, taken out of red and cash. Great job from side of Ferny's Tacos on a great start to the round. They did lose one player, unfortunately, because of C4, but still, pretty damn good.
Yeah, pretty good overall. Sure you lost that sledge, but Mikey and Indy, that's a pretty solid trade. Only issue here is the time that Ferny's Tacos have, or they don't have at their disposal. They've cleared out cash, but they still need to open up that construction wall if they want to play further back inside of the cache, which they clearly want to go for. They have the I was about to say, I'm like, why did you do that?
Small hole.
Exactly. They're just trying to open up that small, thin little strip on the bottom of the wall. And of course, now, Ferny's Tacos have to rotate over and either open that jacuzzi wall or find some way to contain the players playing over by the jacuzzi wall on that side of the map. Of course, they can't really open it up because it's Electroclawed and you just can't destroy it from these angles, unfortunately. But it's still only 40 seconds left for them to make their way through construction and try to make some kind of plan. It appears right now, based on how Boys and Flipper are positioning, they're trying to take logistics, but Xeno's sitting right there, ready for them to push through.
Oh, grenade comes out. Xeno's right there around the corner. Grenade's going a little bit far from him, taking any real damage. So he's able to place position, waiting for the push in Alogy. Whitlock's no HP, playing in the back by the 90 hallway, moving back and forth, trying to deny the push into gym or bedroom, because it's easy to just walk in and that's it. Rainbow jumps in, he goes for the plant. Carnage pushes out. Xeno gets a kill on a Flipper. Down goes him. Carnage stops the plant. Great job from Karn. Poise takes two though. It's Karn now in a 1v1. He's got to stop them happening, but time runs out for LiViD. Great job. Or time runs out for Ferny's Tacos, I mean.
It's kind of nice. In that overhead view, we had 3 engagements split into thirds on your screen. Karn versus Nat on the left side. Actually, I believe was Nat the one getting the bomb down?
No, Rainbow's getting the bomb down.
Okay, that's what I thought. You had Nat and Karn on the left side. Rainbow getting the bomb down, and one player trying to push him in the middle. I believe that was Whitlock. Whitlock and the player in the middle. And then you have Xeno and the player in construction on the right. 3 engagements. That was Poise on the right, by the way. 3 engagements. The one on the right goes the way of Ferny's Tacos. Poise shuts down the construction retake from Xeno. That lane is completely clear. Poise can now focus on covering the planter. So that leaves 2 engagements, the one in the middle and the one on the left. The one on the left is what was the most important part of that round for Ferny's Tacos and LiViD, because Nat is sitting there watching the gym window, watching the very door Karn then swings and kills the planter from. I'm not sure what happened in that engagement.
He had to swing, because you can see the planter from the edge of the doorway.
Oh, well, exactly. The point being that Nat was covering that doorway. Karn is still able to position himself in a way to not only deny the plant, but then get another kill, rotate back into bathroom, and win the round for his team. 2 of those engagements went the way of Ferny's. They had control of bedroom, and then they achieved full control of construction. But despite all of that, Karn is able to win the gunfight down the planter from construction doorway, or from gym doorway, win the round for his team.
100% right there. Should have not jumped in, maybe? Hard to say. different round really at that point because it's hard to tell what those dying moments, what to do in his positions when you're trying to get the plant down. Maybe better if he jumped in and covered him with his body rather than just with from the window. Hard to say. But we go on to the next round. We go on to LiViD's next defense of Church and Arsenal, and they're roaming as we've seen before, bringing of course the mute, the Mozzie, and the Vigil as we see from every single team these days. And really now the question is going to be, because last time we saw it from Ferny's Tonkos, they didn't really put a lot of reinforce on the top floor. Sure, they had the utility, Whitlock with a great shot on the flipper to start us off, but they didn't have any reinforcements, so it wasn't much utility-wise for the members of the push them. But Ferny's Tacos, well, looks like LiViD have used a lot of reinforcements upstairs, so they have to use all the utility to break it up, and they've also lost Yana, 2 grenades, a flipper.
There's no Rooney on the side of LiViD, so not as direct. Yana doesn't have as direct a counter as you might otherwise have if LiViD were going with a different lineup, but still, losing that Gone 6, those nades, and strong intel gathering for Ferny's Tacos, gonna be problematic going forward. Whitlock will also now just take that, immediately rotate back on down, and there's still players inside of CCTV that Ferny's Tacos are trying to clear out. He's currently playing inside of CCTV itself, but do they have intel on the Mozzie's position? The drone gets caught. He's sitting right around the corner, but nobody's looking. He runs ahead of the drone. He's refragged. Poise manages to take him down, but some sloppy intel work and coordination from Ferny's Tacos gives Zeno a freebie.
Well, they still have utility. They still have hard breaching left, so they still can at least create the angles they need to push on the site, but they're at a man disadvantage. Utility-wise, they're still kind of good. They still have time to make it happen, but the question is, you saw from Rainbow, they don't have the necessary intel to make a confident execute now. They're still unaware of what players still lurking on the side of LiViD, so they're taking it slow. They're pushing around. They're dry peeking some angles, and now they're finally going to work with under a minute to go. As they open from below or above, they're trying to create angles to deal with these players. And really, can they still make an execute with this utility? They have utility. They have enough. But they need to push these players back and create an angle, create a weakness in this defense.
That's the problem. With the manpower Ferny's Tacos have currently, there's not a lot they can do to poke the holes or exploit the existing ones from LiViD right now. 3 members, or at least 2, I thought were going to go for a kitchen drop, and now 1... Okay, now I thought 1 was rotating dirt. Now 2, they're both rotating back to kitchen hatch. Never mind, they're now rotating down main stairs. 1 of them is dead, so the 2 people that can't seem to decide where they want to push from are the only 2 left. Rainbow on this kitchen hatch. He has sent down some smoke canisters, maybe trying to bait out some play from LiViD, but nobody's giving anything. In fact, he saw someone sitting in that hole, but it's all left up to Nat to try to make this work. He's got 2 kills so far, 5 seconds left. Can't get the 3rd. Whitlock rounds that out. Match point for LiViD, up 4 rounds currently. Ferny's Tacos have a massive deficit to try to climb up to.
Unfortunate for Ferny's Tacos, and yeah, they start that round out. Again, it was LiViD who put more of those reinforcements, more of the utility on the top floor, wasting Ferny's Tacos utility, wasting their time in that first pick, getting rid of Flipper. Yana isn't a huge person when it comes to utility-wise, but 2 grenades and a person are still losing out, and then, misdroning the second person. You lose your sledge, and your sledge is vertically required to deal with those players in Arsenal, to push them out and not allow them to play in Arsenal for that drop. So you're down to a 3-man into a 3-man push. You lose Poise, who was one of those 3 members, pushing another angle. I mean, he might be pushing Moto, he might be pushing Blue, I don't know, but he dies off screen. It's down to just the Thermite and the Habana of Nat and Rainbow, and they just kind of drop in and try and take fights. Like, Nat went for main stairs, pushed down, and it was Rainbow who dropped down the hatch. He doesn't see the player in main hall, gets killed by Nat, but he doesn't really have the, the time or the presence to deal with the 2 players still in Arsenal who are ready to shoot him down.
Now match point for LiViD, going to CCTV. Won 2 defensive sites in a row. If they win this 3rd one, they'll end the game 7-2. Don't even have to try another site 2 different times. They can just pack up, go home, say we got our flawless defensive half, took the W, and left. Now, of course, if Ferny's Tacos, that's where things get difficult. You, of course, do not want that to happen, but on Ferny's Tacos right now, a lot of the big performers in that clubhouse game aren't showing up. You have Poise, who has been, I'd say, somewhat consistent for Ferny's Tacos throughout, but Nat isn't having nearly the game as he did previously. Rainbow's having an okay time on support, and Titans as well. There is just so much more collective action going on the side of LiViD that are shutting them down at every single turn on these defenses, and Ferny's Tacos are still having a lot of the issues they've had on their attacks previously. Starting out, they'll move over to CCTV and likely cover a lot of these standard bases that you'd expect starting out for a CCTV attack. But Ferny's Tacos have already struggled covering many of those bases early on. This go around as well. Now having to deal with a Cade actively or with an Electroclaw actively on that flat wall, with no Thatcher or Maverick, that's going to require a lot more effort from Ferny's Tacos to take down.
Yeah, I do wonder, have they used one electric claw or two electric claws on that wall? Because some teams will probably put like two to cover both walls from different
If
angles.
they've used two, I feel so bad for Ferny's. I feel awful.
I don't know if they used two or one. I don't know where this electric claw is. We can't see from here, unfortunately, but it looks like it may be two because we don't see it on the wall directly. So I wonder if it's either below or if it's Whitlock. It's a kill, though. It looks like he may have ran out of storage and gotten that pick on Rainbow. Nat will at least take a kill on a Mikey, though, in return. But still, it's been back and forth. You lost with Thermite as well, which is huge. Losing Thermite early in this round, leaving it all into Nat. And I don't know if they haven't opened a plat wall either. They haven't got rid of Electroclaw. So there's a lot of issues here already for his Tacos going into this.
Yeah, if you want to open up plat wall now, at best, unless you want to expend, do the math real quick. Unless you want to expend about either half or the majority of Nat's remaining X-Kairos, you're not walking through that wall comfortably. You might be able to vault through it, but that would still require a lot of his hard-breaching utility to make work, all because you lost Rainbow. In fact, he'll use all of it, 12 of his remaining 14 X-Kairos, all on plat wall, now that they've tried to open it up and opened and taken down those X-Kairos. But now, because you lost that Thermite, you can't open the con wall. You just gotta sit in construction, stake your claim, and try to make it work on this doorway and hope for the best. Thankfully there, a C4 wasted. The entry is going to be a lot easier, but only comparatively speaking. On top of all these factors working against Ferny's Tacos' attack, LiViD still has an angle on red, still has Xeno on green box, still has Indy inside a garage. All these points of entry have some member of LiViD testing it, but Nat's able to make his way on in, get one, but not before he's shut down by the members of the defense still inside the site. Boys has done work getting Indy as well. Finds Xeno through the wall. Oh, 30 seconds left. Whitlock on 12 kills is the only one left to win this game 7-2 for LiViD. No C4. He has to take the fight. Poi surely will get off the plane at this point. Yes, he will. He's able to land the shot. Switlock on low HP. A nail-biter of a round that Ferny's Tacos just narrowly gained the lead on. But it's still 3 rounds in a row they have to win on top of this one we just saw.
That was definitely a nail-biter. Oh, my God. That was still a great job because I still were able to synchronize their plays, though. You know, you saw Nat walk that small Hibana hole. And during the execute, Poise jumps through the window, the server window at the same time, allowing for those trades to happen. Sure, you see Nat get picked off. He gets a kill, though. He kills one person on red, gets picked up by a person on rafters, but Poise is there to refrag again. And it's just, again, sure, it was difficult because they were down that Thermite. They didn't have the utility, but it still made it work for LiViD. Ferny's Tacos still made it work. Still had players working together, take control in those dying moments when they were in the disadvantage, which is great for Ferny's Tacos. That's the glimmer of hope we see from Ferny's Tacos in these rounds. They can do stuff like that to win them rounds where they really, obviously, shouldn't have won, but it was the cards were all against them.
But that's the issue, is now we have to see an attacking round if Ferny's Tacos are going to keep winning. That needs to be a little bit more dominant than that, because it is a best of one. Theoretically, you could win 3 rounds in a row on that style of play, and we've seen that happen before, but it's still hard to bet a Ferny's Tacos comeback, especially after seeing 2 lost attacking rounds, and the one they have managed to win came down to just charging into various entry points in the final 30 seconds, or not the final 30 seconds, but in their execute basically being entirely based on a couple players managing to get their frags in places where they're not exactly favored to get them. And that's the difficulty for Ferny's Tacos right now. Going back to gym and bedroom, this is a place where they got a lot of that control early on. They cleared out cash. They pushed the defenders back into logistics and bathroom and jacuzzi wall. But they didn't contain all of them. They allowed Karn to get an angle onto the planer and take him down. The coverage and the play from Ferny's Tacos was solid and good enough for most of the round, but the coverage lacked the moment they needed it most, when the bomb was going down.
Yep, that was a dying seconds, and it was Karn to win that round for LiViD to put them on match points. So here we go again, try it once more. And Titan's gonna jump right in. Their main stairs push, actually. Looks like they're rushing up main stairs. Nat with the bearing 9 to Whitlock. Mikey with 2 of his own to repel these attackers, but Flipper's there to take him out. And Xeno takes out Titans. They have control of sight. Karn's still in bathroom, though. Indy not aware of the control from the attackers. He is taking down construction. Nat's walking in. He info peeks, but can't win the fight against Karn, and LiViD will win that. And it's 7-4